in-person electronic notarizations, also known as IPEN. Now, it's not something that I talk about often, but definitely something that you should consider if you are looking to expand your notary offerings. Now, if you have no idea what IPEN is, do not worry. Of course, I'm going to get into what it is, how it works, and a couple companies you can consider if you are looking to get started. Let's get into it. Now, there are really three main ways that you can do a notarization. Traditional, which is in person using a paper document, using a wet ink signature and your wet ink notarial seal. You have RON, or remote online notarizations, which I mainly talk about on this channel. That is where it is completely remote. You are not in the same room as the signer. You are using a digital document and audio-visual communication to be able to conduct the notarization. So in this case, you're using something like a laptop or potentially a tablet. You are signing the electronic document with an electronic signature, and you are stamping it with an electronic notarial seal. Now, kind of a hybrid of those two is where IPEN, or in-person electronic notarizations, fall. So in this case, you will still be in person with the signer, but you will be using a digital document. Think about it like a PDF potentially. And on that PDF, you will be signing it using an electronic signature and an electronic notarial seal. And you can conduct an IPEN on something like a tablet or even a laptop. Now, you may be wondering, okay, well, what are the benefits of doing IPEN? I already do traditional, I already do RON, I'm not looking to add another thing. Understandable. But honestly, IPEN is a good thing, especially if you're a signing agent, because you don't need to print loan documents, you don't need to mail them off. You can automatically get those loan documents digitally, and you can send them via email, however the company wants you to send them. Another good thing is, if the signer does something wrong, they sign in the wrong place, or they just mess something up, you can easily just delete what they wrote and have them redo it because it's a digital document. Same with if you get a document that has an error on it. If it has an error, spell the person's name wrong, or something's just wrong with it, versus you having to go and reprint it once the company corrects it, they can just digitally fix it. You can easily upload it to the platform. And another thing that I like about IPEN is that a lot of the platforms have kind of like checks and balances built into it. So if you've already tagged a document and you forget to sign it, then it'll tell you that you can't close out the session until you finish that signature. So it makes it a little bit harder for you to miss some of the more important things. And so with all of these different features that IPEN have, it really does save you a lot of time and money. So definitely something that you want to consider, but let's get into how exactly does it work? What does it look like? So I'm going to describe it as best as possible in as few words as possible, because I can be a little bit long-winded sometimes. Now, first things first, please check with your state, just like with any notarization, especially with IPEN. States are they vary a lot, honestly, on how they want these conducted. So please make sure that you check with your state. The NNA has a link that explains exactly how every state wants it broken out. So I've included that in the description. It's really important to make sure you just take a look and get a general idea of how it works in your state. But let's talk about it a little bit more broadly on what it could look like. So first things first, an in-person electronic notarization, IPEN, has to be, well, in person. So you will be in person with your signer. From there, they will send you the electronic document that they want notarized. Now, they could have sent it to you prior to you guys meeting up. That's fine. But either way, they're going to have to send you a digital copy of whatever it is that they want notarized. Once you get that digital copy, you're going to upload it to whatever platform it is that you're using to conduct an IPEN. So similar to RON, you will need a platform in order to do an in-person electronic notarization. So you'll upload it to that platform, and then from there, you're just going to verify the identity of the signer. Now, there's a couple ways you can do it with IPEN. You can either do it with a physical ID, similar to you would do with a normal mobile notary transaction, or you can use the technology that is built into the platform to do the ID verification. So you can have them take knowledge-based authentication questions. You can have them do the ID verification where they upload a picture of the ID. It really just depends on the state. And sometimes states let you choose, so it's really up to you at that point. But again, check with your state on how exactly they want you to verify the identity of the signer. Now, because it's an in-person electronic notarization, you're not going to be using any sort of audio-visual on the platform similar to you would do with RON. So with the RON, you're like, filming the other person's face and you're filming what they say and all of that. You don't necessarily need to do it with IPEN because you're in person with that person. You're really just using the platform to be able to sign and stamp it. So the document's up, you verified the signer. Now at this point, you're going to perform the notarization as laid out depending on what kind of notarization it is. You're going to give the signer your tablet or laptop or phone, whatever it is that you're performing the notarization on. They're going to do their part. So they're going to sign it or whatever it is that they need to do on their end. From there, you'll take the device back and you will do your part. So you will put on your electronic signature. You will also stamp it using your electronic notarial seal. At that point, both parties have done what they need to do. Your signer has signed it electronically, you have signed it and stamped it electronically and filled out your certificate. So at this point, the transaction's done. You should be able to complete it on the platform, and once completed, you will have a copy of the digitally notarized document that you can then email to your signer, or the signer would be able to access it via their platform or account, however it is that it's laid out for you, depending on your platform. But that's it. So in a nutshell, all it is they give you a digital document, you upload it, they will sign it using an electronic signature, you will sign it and stamp it using your electronic signature and electronic notarial seal. Once it's done, you'll get a copy, they get a copy, we're all happy, and it goes into your electronic journal. It really is as simple as that. So the last thing I have to talk about are some platforms you can use to perform in-person electronic notarizations. Now, one thing I'm going to say is most RON platforms already have IPEN built into it because it's the same thing. It's the same technology, you're just not recording it. That's it. So just check. If you do have a RON platform, please just make sure you check to see if it has IPEN before you go out and get a whole new platform, because it's a good chance you can just use the same platform you've already been using. But I'm going to mention a couple anyway, just in case you didn't know. And the first one up is BlueNotary. Now, BlueNotary is a platform that I actually really like. I've done a full review on it if you want to check that out. But if you have their Pro plan, then they actually include IPEN within their plan. So the Pro plan is like $27 a month. And there's some cool things that you actually get with the plan outside of just IPEN. So you get a free digital certificate, which you'll need. You get a free electronic notarial seal, which is something that you'll also need. You also get some RON customers sent to you every now and again, which is dope. And it's just an overall pretty easy to use platform that I really like. Now, they actually have a full video on what an IPEN transaction looks like on their platform. So I'm not going to recreate anything. I'm just going to link it in the description. Now, long story short, if you want to do an IPEN on their platform, it's really simple. So you go to start a new session, similar to what you would do if you're sending out a invitation for a RON session. You go new session and it says, do you want to do a RON? Do you want to do an IPEN? So you click IPEN, you'll create your session, you'll send it out to your signer, and then you just kind of follow the steps from there. Now, the one thing that the platform doesn't really say is if the IPEN costs any more to conduct it. It doesn't say what the fees are for it, kind of like it does with the other one. So that was a little confusing. Definitely something to check out. But anyways, check the link in the description if you want to see a full video on how to perform it. Okay, so the next company up is Escrowtab. Now, Escrowtab is a little bit unique because it is an IPEN only company, which honestly seems pretty darn rare. But I've done some videos on Escrowtab in the past and done some demos and interviews and all that. So I'll just link those if you want to check them out to get a more in-depth review of the platform itself. But honestly, they're definitely a leader within the IPEN space. And if you are a notary signing agent, this platform is a lot more relevant to you because they specialize in e-closings. So if you've ever heard me talk about different types of RON platforms, then you've heard me talk about something called an enterprise platform. Well, that's kind of how Escrowtab is. So Escrowtab is completely free to sign up and use, but you have to have an Escrowtab enabled tablet. So they have a couple of tablets that their platform actually works on. I'll put those on the screen somewhere for you to be able to see. So as long as you are working with a company that is signed up with Escrowtab, that company can send you loan signings directly through their platform. So you're signed up, a company that you work for is signed up, and they will send you those assignments directly through the platform. That is essentially how it works. But the great thing about the platform, it has a number of dope features that you can use to help expedite your loan signings, like automatic tagging, and like I was talking about before in the benefits, which is just those checks and balances to make sure you don't miss anything. They have many layers of security. So it's definitely a great one to check out because it is free to sign up. But keep in mind, you can only really use the platform if you are already working with a company that uses the platform. If you're not working with a company that uses Escrowtab, there's really no reason for you to kind of sign up yet. But again, it's free, so it doesn't really hurt either. But just something to definitely keep in mind. And one thing I will say specifically about the platform, because it only works with certain devices, unless you really know that you're going to get business through them, don't necessarily go out quite yet and go buy one of the devices unless you definitely know that you're going to get business through the Escrowtab platform. But still, one I think is worth keeping in mind. So the last platform to check out is secured signing. Now, just like BlueNotary, secured signing is a RON platform as well, but they do have IPEN too. So the way it works is you pay $10 a month for the platform, and then you pay every time you use the platform. Now, it doesn't say specifically how much IPEN is, but just doing the calculations based on how they break down their costs, it should be about $6.50 every time that you do an IPEN transaction on their platform. So you have the monthly cost plus the transaction cost, which really isn't all that unique. So definitely something to keep in mind. I've seen a demo of the platform before. I haven't used it personally, but it does seem very seamless and straightforward. And it's a great group of people that run that platform. I think I've done an interview with them as well. So make sure you check those out if you're looking to do it. Okay, but that's really all I had. Now, what do you think of IPEN? Have you heard of it? Is it something that you currently do? Is it something that you would look to add to your notarial offerings? Again, there are the main three. You got mobile/traditional, you got IPEN, and you got RON. So let me know which ones you currently do, which ones you're thinking of doing, and if you found this helpful. As always, thank you so much for watching my videos. Catch you in the next one.